Hello everyone, I'm here back again with another Awaken Chaos Era video guide. So in today's video, I'll be giving you an update on the Queen of Tides Stage 14 team, which I created previously. And after the patch has implemented several days ago, it has somehow impacted the run. I think there was some kind of a silent nerf damage on Zatlux that causes him to deal lesser damage as of before the patch. So let me show you how it works. So currently I'm in the Queen of Tides stage 14. I'll perform a manual run to show you the issue there. I'll be using the same team, who are Santis, Ghajar, Zatlux and Gangelo. The spells will be the same, which are Sudden Purgatory for the defense down and Last Breath to revive Santis. So let's click battle. Alright, so as usual, Gangelo applied the Sudden Purgatory followed by his basic attack. Then Santis will perform her ultimate, followed by Ghajar to detonate the poison on the crab that has the most poison. Then Zatlux will perform the finishing kill here. Somehow Zatlux does not deal much damage to the last crab here, which causes Ghajar not able to finish off this big crab. So Ghajar will be using his special ability, Vaporous Potion, to knock out this big crab. And somehow Ghajar isn't able to manage to wipe out this big crab. This will slow down the run, since Zatlux will need to finish off this big crab on the first wave. On the second wave, it will be the same. Ghajar will apply one stack of poison to the big crab, followed by Santis basic, and Ghajar will detonate. So after Ghajar takes his turn, Zatlux should be able to finish off all of these enemies, the 3 mini crabs as well as the big crab. And somehow the damage dealt by Zatlux is not that much compared to previous before the patch. So Gangelo is now needed to defeat this big crab. And if his damage is not sufficient, then Santis will need to go to clear up this big crab. And since Santis uses her ultimate here, which isn't sufficient to deal much damage on the big crab, this will mess up the run because Ghajar should reserve his special ability for the big boss. And this somehow has reduces the skill cooldown of Ghajar since he has already taken his turn on the second wave, which means that Ghajar would not be able to use the detonation before Santis and Gangelo applies all the stack of poison. So this is how it causes the run to fail. So I'll show you a way on how to fix to remedy this problem where Zatlux is dealing lesser damage. Alright, so let me quit this battle. So one of the methods to resolve this issue is to improve the damage dealt by Gangelo so that Santis and Ghajar will not need to take their turn. Alright, so this is my Ghajar. Previously, I was using him in a Wish of the Wind build that has a high amount of speed but very low attack, crit and critical damage. So in order to fix that problem, we will need to raise his attack stats, get 100% critical rate and improve his critical damage while retaining his focus. So it's like building him as an attacker role and a debuffer role at the same time, similar to Ghajar build. Alright, so I'll be performing an auto battle after optimizing Gangelo as an attacker role and a debuffer role. So let's see how fast this will take to complete the run. Alright, so at the battle, Gangelo applied the Sudden Purgatory and apply one stack of poison to one of the big crab, followed by this ultimate. And then Ghajar will detonate the bomb, followed by Zatlux to finish off at least 3 enemies in this first round. And I think we cannot avoid that Zatlux isn't able to deal much damage to the last crab here. which causes Ghajar not able to finish off this big crab. And this will increase the duration of this run. The most important part would be the wave 2, where Gangelo will need to finish off this big crab rather than giving extra turn to Santis and Ghajar to take the turn here. Otherwise, he'll mess up the hero sequence on the wave 3 at where the boss is located. So with the additional damage dealt by Gangelo, we managed to wipe out the big crab on the second wave. And all of the hero sequencing here remains the same. Alright, Zatlux will revive Santis after the Queen of Tides nuke Santis here. And she'll apply her ultimate ability since she's revived by the last breath. And then followed by Ghajar to perform the detonation of the poison. So let's see how fast this run takes after the patch. So the run took around about 1 minute and 31 seconds, which not takes account the waiting time. Previously it was like 1 minute and 25 or 1 minute 26 seconds. So after the patch, somehow it makes the run slightly longer by 5 seconds since Zatlux is dealing lesser damage compared to before the patch. So this is one of the workaround in order to solve the issue where Zatlux is dealing lesser damage after the patch, by optimizing Gangelo's damage to deal critical damage. I'll start off with the fastest hero in the team, who is Gangelo. So this is my Gangelo. He currently has around about 14,000 health, 1,400 defense, 183 speed. He's speed 2 to go first. And the most important part is he's built as a debuffer, a poison debuffer who applies poison to the enemies, and he's also at attacker role. So attacker role means I'll need to give him with a 100% critical rate to make the run consistent for him to deal critical damage every single time he hits the enemy with his basic attack, and some attack stats here. So the main stats to prioritize on Gangelo would be speed for him to go first, then get the critical rate to 100%, then some attack and critical damage, and most importantly focus must be 100% to apply the poison. So let me show you his gears. So currently I'm gearing him in a guard set so that he'll be able to tank the damage from the enemy's AoE attack, especially from the right side guard and the boss. So these are the equipments. Basically I gear him with the main stats that I have shown earlier in the overview stats there. So for the weapon I have attack, speed, critical rate. The helmet has a critical rate, focus, attack. Precision is not useful for him here. And this is the chest plate with some critical damage, focus, critical rate. This is a speed boost for him to be speed to go first, because he doesn't have much ascension on him to get the additional base speed of 15, because he needs around about ascension 4 to get the additional 15 speed there. So that's why I equip him in the speed boots. And this is a critical rate ring with some attack, speed and focus. And then finally we have an attack necklace. Attack necklace with a critical rate, focus and critical damage. His glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. Alright, so let's move on to the second fastest hero in the team, which is Santis. Alright, so this is my Santis. I did a couple of modifications to her gear because I noticed that she fails to get defeated by the boss sometimes when she's able to deflect the enemy attack, especially the boss AoE attack. So let me show you the overall stats for Santis. So she's currently at Ascension 5, level 50. I highly recommend you not to rank her to 60 because this will give her too much health and defense, and most probably will allow her to sustain the boss AoE attack. So currently I have her in 1800 attack, 181 speed, just speed tune her to go second in the team, 100% critical rate, 180% critical damage, and 100% focus. So the main stats to prioritize on her will be similar to Gangelo, basically critical rate, speed, attack, critical damage, and focus. Alright. And her glyphs is not maxed out. I only choose the one that only provides with her additional speed and focus and attack and critical damage. Do not get the health and defense. This is very, very important. Alright, abilities are all maxed out. Let me show you the gears. Currently, I'm gearing her in the Warrior set and the Raider set. Warrior set provides additional 15% attack, and Raider set additional 15 speed. So previously, I geared her with a max upgraded gear for the helmet and chest plate, but right now I use unupgraded gears. Alright, so let me show you the weapon first. So this is the weapon with some speed, focus, resistance. Ideally, this health stats should be attack or critical damage. We do not want her to have too much health or defense. This is very, very important. And for the helmet, I just get at least one roll to the critical rate because I want her to have 100% critical rate to deal critical damage consistently throughout the battle. And this is the armor with some attack, critical rate, and critical damage. This is attack boots because she's pretty fast because she's already ascended to A5 and she already obtained the additional speed from the extension. That's why I gear her in attack boots. So these attack boots have some focus, critical rate, and speed. Resistance is useless here. And then we have a critical rate ring with some focus and speed. Precision and defense is not useful sets for Santis. And finally, we have a focus necklace so that she'll be able to apply her poison. And here are some critical damage and critical rate substats. And the most important thing to take note is her health and defense must not, ideally it should be around about 6,500 and below, and the defense is 600. Because if you have it more, right, when she's able to successfully deflect the enemy attack with her agility, her base agility is 5 for all heroes. The agility is 5, so they have a probability of deflecting the attacks, which may cause the run to fail. So ideally, in order to allow her to receive sufficient damage, even though she deflects the attack, you need her to be below like 7,000 health and around 600 defense. Alright. A glyph, as I already explained previously, just don't get the health and defense. And max out her abilities here. Okay, so let's move on to the third hero in the team, who is a Ghajar. Alright, so this is the third hero on my team, who is a Ghajar. Here are his overall stats. He has around about 3,400 attack, 177 speed, 100% critical rate, 200% critical damage, and over 100% focus. So his build is similar to Gangelo and Santis, basically at a high amount of attack and sufficient focus to apply the poison. And his speed to go third in a team. And I did some modification to his gears, so let me show you them. So I currently gearing him in double warrior set and one guard set. So basically, right, his health and defense is pretty low. So there's a chance for the big boss as well as the right type guard to knock him out using their AoE attacks. There are some cases that will happen, hence to make it a guaranteed way for him to survive, I gear him in a guard set. So the guard set is on the weapon as well as on the ring, so that he'll have at least 30% max health to sustain the first attack, and the remaining health that he has will be able to tank the second AoE attack from the tight guard. Alright, so let's go through each equipment here. So this is the weapon with some focus, critical damage, attack, and critical rate. And this is the helmet with some flat stats attack percentage, and critical rate. Ideally, this one would be critical damage. This is the chest plate with some critical damage, focus, attack percentage. This is attack boots with some triple roll and focus, double roll and speed, and some critical rate. This is the critical rate ring with some speed, critical damage, and defense. And finally, we have attack necklace with some focus, speed, and critical rate. It was quite difficult to get the right substats and the right primary stats for the warrior equipment, because I keep on getting the right gears, but then it rolls into double flat stats defense or those things, which is really unlucky. Alright, hopefully you can get the right gears as well, because this one took me a long time to gather these right equipments. And currently I have Ghajar glyphs all maxed out as well as his abilities. Alright, so let's move on to the fourth and final hero, who is Zatlux. Alright, so this is my Zatlux. Here are his overall stats. He has around about close to 5,800 attack, 139 speed. He needs to have 138, at least 138 speed and above, and below I think 154 speed. Means just above 100, just above the left and right tiger speed, and just below the boss speed. You want his speed to be below the boss so that he receives the EU attack and then revive Santis. That's why his speed tune to go in between the boss as well as the target. He only needs 70% critical rate because 30% of the critical rate is provided through his passive skill. And once you achieve 70% critical rate, just max out your attack and critical damage. As I've already explained in my previous video, you just multiply this attack with this critical damage percentage to get a total damage of like 17,000 around there. So attack multiplied by critical damage and divided by 100 if you are calculating the percentage. So around about I think 17,000 damage or more would be sufficient for you, for your Zatlux, to finish off the 3 mini crabs in the second wave. You do not need him to have any focus or resistance or agility. Agility will be good because it allows him to deflect the attacks. But for this speedrun, you do not need agility there. And these are his gears. Currently, I'm equipping him with a double warrior set for 30% total attack. And here are his weapon stats. So this weapon, I was quite lucky to get quadruple rolls on attack percentage. That leads me to be able to do this speedrun. So this weapon has quadruple attack, speed, critical damage and health. And this helmet has some critical damage, attack, health and critical rate. And this chest plate has triple roll on attack, single roll on critical damage and critical rate here. This is attack boots that I farmed a long time ago when I was like early to mid game. I got this equipment, so I was quite lucky. So this attack boots has some critical rate and critical damage. And this is a critical damage ring. You do not need to equip him with a critical rate ring because he can easily achieve the 70% critical rate. So ideally, you want to get the critical damage ring with critical rate substats and attack percentage here. The precision and resistance is not so useful. Unless you're using Zatlux for arena, that precision will be quite useful against enemies of weaker affinity of him. Oh no, affinity that is stronger than him. And finally, we have the attack necklace with some critical rate and critical damage. Defense and agility not so useful for him here. His glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. Alright, so I've already prepared a screenshot that shows all of my heroes' stats and gears so that you have an easier time to reference and build this setup on your account. So I have Gangelo, Santis, Ghajar, all similarly built where they have an attacker roll and a debuffer roll. Attacker roll means they need to have a high amount of critical rate, attack and critical damage, but not as high as like my Zatlux because they'll need to distribute those points into focus and speed. These 3 heroes all need 100% focus to apply the poison and sufficient speed above 155 speed to go before the boss. And for Zatlux, you need to go in between the enemy, which is after the boss and before the tight guard. And you need to hit around about 17,000 damage by multiplying the attack versus the critical damage and divide by 100% to get at least 17,000 damage so that you'll be able to clear off the 3 mini crabs in the second wave. And I've tweaked this build so that Santis will have lesser health and defense so that even though she successfully deflect attacks, she'll be able to defeat by the big boss AoE attack. And Ghajar and Gangelo, I have them in the guard set so that the shield will be able to protect them against the first AoE attack. Right, so that's it for this video on how to work around the issue where Zatlux deals lesser damage to the first wave and second wave big crab. And with the additional damage provided by Gangelo, who is also built in a damage dealer role as well as a debuffer role, you'll be able to clear this wave easily, although it will take some time. Additional time for you to clear the run. If you found this video helpful, do give this video a thumbs up and like and share this video if you feel that this video will help someone else. And if you'd like to support my work, you can head over to my Patreon channel at patreon.com/Ayumilove to be a patron there, or you can donate to my PayPal account directly. If you'd like to learn more about Awaken Chaos Era, you can visit my website at ayumilove.net. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.